What's up, everyone? I've heard that people have been trying to figure out a way to install packages in Red Hat Linux Enterprise without using the subscribe manager. When I didn't know this, I found it difficult, and then Red Hat was very boring to me because I couldn't install anything because I have to be subscribed, and then I didn't have enough fund to get subscription. But today, I found a way that a person can install packages without subscribing to Red Hat, not using the RPM command, but using the yum install command. And whenever you use a yum install command, you install a package and its possible dependencies. So today, basically, what I'm going to be doing is teaching everyone how to create a local repo. Because whenever you are installing something, it make inquiries and queries to the online repository provided by Red Hat officially. So today what we'll be doing is, first of all, we'll mount a Red Hat ISO disk. What you just have to do is get these packages on your Red Hat machine, and then my packages are in the Red Hat ISO disk. Every Red Hat ISO disk contains packages. So what I'll do is create a root directory where I'll paste these packages and then make those packages a local repo. So first of all, what I will do is check my machine, my Linux version with the command hostname TTL, and then I realized that I'm running it on a virtual machine, and then the version is Red Hat Enterprise Linux Server 7.2 Maple. So like what I will do now is, if I don't have the ISO, I get the server 7.2 ISO, so that I'll get the latest packages. So I'll mount an ISO. I use virtual machine, and most people I think by now know how to mount an ISO. I'll browse to where I have it. I have Kali here, Red Hat server, and then I'll connect it. So when I connect, it will appear on a desktop as when you insert a disk. So if this is on a live machine, not a virtual machine, you just insert a disk or a flash drive containing this installation media, or maybe you can download all the packages online and then copy it. So what I will do first of all is, I'll come to the root, create a folder here called repo, and then when I create a folder here repo, I will browse to the run media, and then when I get to media, I'll come to run, and then when I get to run, I'll open media root, that's the user, and then I'll copy all the files in this. Basically, this is what I need, these packages. But sometimes you realize that when you are installing the packages, you need other dependencies. So to make issues simple, I just copy everything in this directory and then paste it into the folder I've created in the root here called repo. So first of all, I'll make this directory called repo, and then I give it permission so that it can be accessible 666. So after this, I now copy cp dash vr, and then I navigate to where, so this is it. These are the files we have. This is what I need, these packages, but I will copy everything in it, and then I'll copy to the direction repo, and we can see the copying process. It has started copying all these files. So what we are basically doing is copying these files. So we are basically copying everything in the package and then pasting it into our custom repo folder. This custom folder can be created anywhere. You just have to know the path to it. Now our copy is done. Copying is done. Now our copy is fuck. Now the copying process we initiated is done, and then we can verify this by navigating to our root directory and then checking at our repo folder. Whereas that we have our Red Hat contents, the ISO contents copy to this. So what we need to do is use a tool called create repo, and then this tool by default, when you graphically install a Red Hat server, is installed by default unless you did not check it, because there's an option where you check stuffs you need. Mostly I check everything available because I don't know which tool I will need at some other point, because if I was not having this create repo installed whilst the installation process was going, I have to use the RPM process, which sometimes you will do some dependencies that it can't fetch. So what I'll now do, that I'll use that create repo command to create a database in this folder that will make this folder known to the Red Hat machine that this is a repo database. And then I use the command create repo, and then I specify the directory, enter. You realize that whilst this is running, this process, normally it takes time. Files will be created. You can see what it just started creating, repo data. There are files that we created, and it has realized that we have 4,687 packages in this. It will use this, based on this, to create a repo database. Now you realize that the create repo command has created some database, and then this database files are contained here. Basically this is what will control our local repo. Okay, so now since we have done this, we have to teach the YAM, excuse me, say the YAM tool, to realize that we have a repo saved. And then before doing that, we need to create a repo file in the etc directory. Let me navigate there graphically, so that I want you to see how everything is done graphically. And then in the term, when you come to the root directory, which is the computer, you open etc, and then you realize that we have a directory called yam.repos.d. When you open this, this is the default Red Hat manager repo. This is what controls the Red Hat. When you open it with any text editor, you realize that there are some contents in it. This is what it contains. We need to also create our own repo file here to point to our repo. We can do this graphically, but I think advanced tasks are done in the terminal, so I'll do it from the terminal base. So I just use the command touch. We know touch is used to create a file, and I navigate to etc, and then yam dash yam dot re. Okay, and then I call the name local dot repo. Our command has created it graphically, and then you've seen it. Right now, let me open it and you see something. When I open, oh, I'm still opening the Red Hat. When I open the local.repo, realize that it's empty. We need to fill it, and then we can fill this graphically. But I always prefer to use basic like the terminal base, since this is advanced. So I use the same command via instead of touch, and then I navigate to hcam dot repos, then local repo. So when I use via is the text editor I use. I'll click insert to insert what I have, and then I give it a unique name. So I'll call it this offline. Okay, let me just call it offline, and I give it a name which is equals to off repo, and then I give it a base URL. This base URL basically is pointing to where our repo database, like let me see, packages can be found. So I use file, then I use 2 / before the directory repo. So I set a GPG check, and I set it to 0, and then this GPG is linked to an online mirror repository. When it's not set, it will be assumed it's set to 1, which means it's enabled. So you just do GPG check 0, and then enabled is equals to 1 to enable it. So I think this is what we need for our repo to work. And then you press escape colon, WQ exclamation to do away with error, and then you save it. So now let's open our local repo and see something. Realize that it has been filled with these stuff. These things could have been done like graphically, but as I told you earlier on, I prefer it when I do it in a terminal. So when I close this, I think our repo has been set. And then to verify, we just type yam repo list all, and let's see what our yam repo list all command gives us. It should show our configured repo. So we realize that we have a repo called offline, that's the ID, and the name is off repo, and then it is enabled, and it contains, let me enlarge it for you everyone to see, and it contains 4,687 packages. So to test whether this repo is working, let's try to install something. Yam -y. Okay, let me put install before -y. Install -y, and then let me say bind anything. This asterisk means after bind, anywhere that contains that starts with bind should be installed. So let's see what it gives us. So you see that after checking in the Red Hat manager and then it found something, nothing, it continues to check in our local repo, and these are the packages it has found in our local repo. And then after finding it, it is resolving its dependencies and realize that these are the dependencies needed. So it is installing gradually. Basically, this is how to configure a local repo in Red Hat. You don't have to struggle to subscribe it if you don't have enough fund or use RPM. You can just configure your local repo this way. Thank you for watching this video.